Every evening, millions of homes slip into a quiet rhythm. Lights dim, dinner simmers, and routines unfold. But what if one small habit, done after 6 p.m., could be quietly unraveling the peace in your home? You wouldn't notice it right away. The dishwasher hums, your kids laugh in the yard, maybe you're folding laundry or sweeping crumbs from the kitchen floor. All seems normal until the energy shifts. Suddenly, sleep feels shallow, tempers flare without reason, and the air in your house feels heavier. Sound familiar? Here's the truth most people ignore. After 6 p.m., your home enters a different energetic state. It's not about superstition. It's about rhythm. Your body, S, your space, S, and the invisible flow that holds everything together. Certain things, if done in this delicate hour, don't just disrupt your evening. They can quietly shake the balance of your entire household. And yet we keep doing them. Not because we want to cause harm, but because no one ever told us these invisible boundaries exist. Tonight, you're going to learn 6 things you should never do after 6 p.m. And not just to avoid bad luck, but to reclaim the calm, protect your family's emotional space, and invite a gentler kind of abundance into your home. If you've been feeling off lately, like you're always a step behind, or like your house doesn't fully rest at night, this might be the missing piece. Because sometimes peace isn't something we build, it's something we protect, starting with what we choose not to do. Ready to see what's really been happening in your home after dark? Part 1, don't call names after dark. Every name holds a soul's frequency. You might think calling out to your spouse from the hallway or yelling to your child to come inside after dinner is nothing more than routine. Just another moment in a busy evening. But the truth is, calling someone by name after dark is more powerful than most of us realize. A name is not just a label, it's a frequency. And when spoken after sunset, especially with heightened emotion or urgency, it doesn't just reach the person you're calling. It echoes through the atmosphere of your home, stirring energies that are meant to settle. Think about it. All day long we speak, shout, instruct, correct, ask, and respond. But when the sun sets, something in the air softens. The pace slows. The mind begins to let go. This is when the body and home need stillness, not stimulation. When you call someone's name after 6 p.m., especially from across rooms, outdoors, or through walls, you're piercing that stillness. You may be trying to get their attention, but what you're actually doing is pulling them energetically out of rest and into alertness. For children, this is especially impactful. Their nervous systems are sensitive, their emotional world still forming. A simple name shouted from the kitchen can jolt them out of a moment of peace, causing confusion, irritation, or even anxiety they can't quite name. For adults, the effect is subtler. You may not even notice it right away. But if you find yourself feeling on edge in the evening, mentally scattered, or unable to wind down, it might not be the screen time, or the caffeine, or the to-do list. It might be the way your space is constantly being vibrated with unfiltered sound. Names carry energy. They hold identity, memory, emotional charge. When used gently, they affirm connection. When used carelessly, especially in moments meant for rest, they disrupt that connection, pulling people out of presence and into reactivity. And let's be honest, how often are our evening interactions patient, calm, and intentional? More often they're rushed. Hey, come here. Where are you? Can you grab that? Each time we call out, we send a ripple through the atmosphere, and if that ripple is filled with stress, pressure, or frustration, it leaves a trace, a tension, an invisible static in the air. This might sound small, but over time it builds. Homes where names are thrown around like commands often feel less peaceful, less connected. Relationships strain under the weight of urgency. Children become more reactive, adults less grounded. So what's the alternative? In the evening, shift the way you communicate. Walk to the person if you can. Speak gently, directly. Replace name-calling with touch, eye contact, or soft words like love, honey, or even just a smile. Let your tone become a blanket, not a bell. This is not about superstition, it's about energy hygiene. It's about recognizing that your home is not just a place, but a living field of emotion, memory, and vibration. What you speak into it matters. And after dark, when everything is more porous, more tender, what you say carries even more weight. Tonight, notice how often you call someone's name. Notice your tone. Notice what happens in the space around you afterward. And ask yourself, is this sound restoring peace or disturbing it? Because sometimes the most healing thing we can do isn't to speak louder, but to speak less and softer with intention. Part 2. Avoid mirrors after sunset. Even mirrors need to sleep. You pass by it without thinking, above the sink, across from the hallway, beside the bedroom door. A mirror is just a fixture, a part of your home's design. But after sunset, it becomes something else entirely. A mirror doesn't sleep. It reflects, it absorbs, it holds. And at night, when the world slows down and your defenses soften, what it reflects is no longer just your image. It's your emotional state, your unspoken worries, your unrest. Ever noticed how looking in a mirror late at night feels different? Maybe the lighting is dimmer, your face looks unfamiliar, the room behind you feels deeper than it is. It's not the mirror changing, it's your energy. After 6 p.m., the natural rhythm of the body and the home shifts. The nervous system begins to quiet, light fades, and your inner world becomes more exposed. In this softness, mirrors don't offer clarity. They amplify distortion. They turn brief glances into extended moments of doubt. You start fixating on imperfections, on past emotions, on invisible things that weren't even there during the day. That's because mirrors, especially at night, don't just reflect reality, they reflect what you carry inside. And if your mind is tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally charged, that reflection becomes a feedback loop. What you see unsettles you, which unsettles what you feel, which changes what you see again. For sensitive individuals, this can lead to heightened anxiety, restless sleep, even vivid dreams. For others, it's a subtle heaviness, a sense of being watched, judged, or just not at ease. The mirror becomes more than glass. It becomes a trigger, a doorway, an amplifier of the unseen. That's why so many people experience strange feelings around mirrors at night. It's not about ghosts or folklore. It's about overstimulating a space that should be winding down. Your bedroom, your bathroom, your living room, they all need rest too. And so does the mirror. Covering a mirror after dark isn't superstition. It's self-care, it's energetic respect. Think of it like turning off a screen or dimming the lights. It's a signal to your space that you're done processing, done absorbing, done performing. That you're choosing stillness now. So if you've been struggling to sleep deeply, if your thoughts spiral before bed, or if your home feels subtly off in the evenings, try this. Gently wipe your mirrors clean around dusk. Place a light cloth over them before bed, especially in rooms where you rest. And see what changes. Your nights might feel quieter, your dreams more spacious, your mind less cluttered. Because sometimes peace isn't found in adding more. It's found in softening what already surrounds you. And even mirrors, like us, need permission to rest. Part 3, don't sweep at night. Each sweep stirs the home's breath. It's easy to think of sweeping as a harmless task. Just a way to clear crumbs, collect dust, keep your home tidy before bed. But after dark, that innocent movement carries more weight than you might realize. Because sweeping at night doesn't just clean the floor, it stirs the energy that was meant to settle. Your home, like your body, has a rhythm. Throughout the day, it absorbs your laughter, your stress, your footsteps, your silence. It holds the pulse of everything that happens within it. And by evening, it needs stillness to digest it all. That's why sweeping after 6 p.m. can feel strangely disruptive. It's not just about disturbing others with sound. It's about disrupting the invisible field of energy that's trying to come to rest. Every swipe of the broom moves more than dust. It moves what can't be seen, subtle tensions, unspoken emotions, fleeting moments of peace. You may not feel it right away, but the effects are real. Families who clean aggressively at night often report restless sleep, emotional outbursts, or simply a sense that the house never quite settles. Children become fussier, adults feel drained, and the space begins to lose its softness. Why? Because sweeping is an act of motion, and nighttime is the domain of stillness. When you sweep during the day, it refreshes the energy, opening windows, letting light and air in. But at night, there's no light to carry things away. You're stirring up everything the house was trying to release, and then keeping it trapped. That heavy feeling after a late night clean, that's not exhaustion. It's stagnation, stuck energy that had no place to go. So what should you do instead? Clean earlier. Late afternoon is ideal, when sunlight still filters in and the energy is still awake. If you must tidy at night, keep it gentle. Soft, slow movements. Avoid sweeping into corners where energy naturally gathers and anchors. And most of all, clean with calm intention, not urgency. Treat it like tending to a living being, not scrubbing a surface. Your home isn't just a shelter. It's a breathing, feeling space that responds to how you care for it. And at night, more than ever, it needs peace, not motion. Next time you're tempted to sweep after dinner, pause, ask yourself, am I cleaning the house or clearing away the very calm it needs to hold us tonight? Because sometimes, the cleanest space is the one we leave quietly untouched. Part 4, never leave clothes out overnight. Your shirt still carries your breath. We often treat clothes as nothing more than fabric, something we wear, wash, fold, and forget. But your clothes carry more than your scent. They carry your presence. Every shirt you wear holds a trace of your breath, your warmth, your energy. That's why leaving them outside overnight isn't just about weather or convenience. It's about what they absorb when you're not looking. After sunset, the environment shifts. The air grows heavier, quieter, cooler. But it's not just a temperature drop, it's an energetic shift. Your backyard, your balcony, your porch, these places begin to collect more than dew. They gather vibrations, the unseen kind. When clothes hang out overnight, especially shaped like human bodies, they resemble silent placeholders. And like any empty vessel, they're susceptible. Susceptible to stagnant air, emotional residue, or subtle energy that clings in the dark. It might sound strange, but have you ever worn a shirt left out overnight and felt oddly drained? Maybe colder than usual, more irritable, more tired for no reason. That's no accident. Just like a sponge takes in water, fabric absorbs atmosphere. And at night, the atmosphere doesn't just hold coolness, it holds everything left unspoken in the day. Anxiety from a neighbor, sadness from the street, the emotional heaviness that lingers in still air. Children are especially sensitive to this. Their bodies are more open, their energy fields more delicate. Wearing clothes that sat outside in the dark can leave them fussy, moody, or suddenly unwell. And adults, we rationalize the discomfort, blaming the weather, the fabric, or the laundry soap. Rarely do we ask what the shirt might have brought back in. So what's the alternative? Finish laundry before sunset. Let clothes dry fully in the daylight, where sun and breeze can clear not just moisture, but energy. If drying overnight is unavoidable, do it indoors or under cover. Say a quiet intention as you hang each item, something like, "May this garment hold only what brings warmth and ease." It doesn't need to be dramatic, just intentional. Because the truth is, our homes are shaped not just by what we bring in, but by what we allow to sit in silence. And clothing, as close as it is to our skin, deserves protection too. You wouldn't wrap yourself in someone else's stress. So why wrap yourself in a night full of unknowns? A shirt isn't just cloth. It's a memory, a mirror, a second skin. Let it carry you, not the weight of everything else. Part 5. Do trim nails after dusk. Even the smallest pieces carry life. Trimming your nails might seem like the smallest, most mundane task. A quick snip before bed. A moment of self-care squeezed into a busy day. But what if those tiny pieces you cut off carried more than dead cells? What if they carried momentum, energy that your body still needs? After dusk, everything begins to slow down. Your breathing deepens, your heart rate settles, your mind starts letting go. This isn't just relaxation, it's a shift in energy. Your entire system prepares to draw inward, to repair, to protect. And when you trim your nails during this fragile window, you interrupt that process. You slice through something the body was trying to hold intact. Nails may seem lifeless, but they're connected to blood, to nerves, to rhythm. They're extensions of your body's quiet intelligence. And just like cutting a thread in the wrong place can unravel a whole sweater, cutting nails at night can unsettle more than you think. You may notice it later. Your sleep feels thinner, you wake up with a heavy head, your mood is off for no clear reason. You feel oddly fragmented, like your energy has been scattered. That's because nighttime is about sealing, not releasing. The day is for expression, activity, shedding. Night is for containment, restoration, and integration. And when we violate that balance, even through small acts, we disturb more than a schedule. We disturb the energy map of our body. It's not just spiritual, it's physiological. Your focus is lower at night, your muscles are tired, your coordination not as sharp. You're more likely to cut too deep, bleed, or create tiny wounds that invite infection. That small sting, it sends a ripple through your nervous system at a time when it was begging to be still. So how can we approach this differently? Trim your nails in the morning or early afternoon when energy is rising and your body is more alert. Let that act of grooming be part of a daytime rhythm, not a nighttime disruption. And when you do cut, do it with intention. Don't rush. Pause, breathe. Thank your body for all it carries, because even the smallest part of you holds meaning. A fingernail isn't just a shell. It's a record of your resilience, your health, your pace. Let it go at the right time, not when your body is already calling for quiet. Because sometimes the most respectful thing we can do for ourselves is to wait. Part 6. Keep children indoors after dark. The front gate is a threshold, not a playground. As daylight fades and the first porch lights flicker on, a subtle shift takes place. One most people don't notice until it's already passed. The air cools, shadows stretch longer, and something in your gut says, "It's time to come in." But often we ignore it. We let children keep playing on the front lawn, darting past hedges, shouting into the twilight. It feels harmless, just kids burning off the last of their energy. But after dark, the front yard is no longer just a patch of grass. It becomes a threshold, a place where energies move in and out. And for children who are still wide open to the world, energetically, emotionally, spiritually, that line between safe and exposed is far thinner than we think. Children aren't just small adults. Their energy fields are softer, more porous. They feel everything more deeply, even if they don't have words for it. That's why letting them linger at the edge of the home, especially after the sun goes down, can quietly overwhelm them. Maybe you've seen it. A child who was cheerful all day suddenly can't fall asleep. They cry for no reason, toss in bed, complain of stomach aches, nightmares. You think it's just overstimulation or sugar or a late bedtime. But sometimes it's simply that their energy picked up something they couldn't shake off. The front gate is where the world meets your home. It's a place of exchange, a place of movement. During the day, it's filled with light and clarity. At night, that flow becomes less predictable, more sensitive, more chaotic. And loud voices, running feet, unsettled laughter, they don't just echo in the air. They ripple through the whole household, leaving behind a subtle static that doesn't quite go away. Keeping kids indoors after dark isn't about fear, it's about protection. It's about understanding that not all boundaries are physical. Some are energetic. Some are felt in the gut, the skin, the silence between moments. So instead of calling from the door to come inside, make it a ritual. Dim the lights, close the curtains. Light something warm, a candle, a lamp, a soft story. Let your home become a nest again. Not a space open to the street, but a space turned inward, ready to hold what matters. Your child's body may not understand why they feel calmer, but their spirit will. And you will too, because peace doesn't come from keeping things quiet. It comes from knowing when to close the gates. Final, by the time the sky turns indigo and the noise of the day begins to fade, something quieter, deeper starts to rise. It's not silence. It's a shift, subtle but powerful. Every action we take after 6 p.m. doesn't just fill time. It sets a tone. It becomes a thread in the emotional fabric of our homes. What we explored together isn't about fear or folklore. It's about understanding rhythm. Your home, your body, your family, they all move in cycles. Just as morning invites motion, evening asks for stillness. And when we ignore that invitation, when we sweep too late, shout too loudly, leave energy exposed, we create friction. Small, invisible disturbances that grow over time into fatigue, tension, miscommunication, or that unshakable feeling that something is just off. Science tells us our nervous system begins winding down after dusk. Melatonin increases, heart rate slows, our senses turn inward. Spiritually, we soften. Emotionally, we're more porous. This is why the hours after 6 p.m. are not made for high energy, they're made for soft release. For preservation, for gentle reset. Each of the 6 habits we spoke about, calling names at night, looking into mirrors after dark, sweeping, leaving clothes outside, trimming nails, letting children linger too long at the gate, may seem harmless on their own. But together they reflect a deeper pattern, forgetting to honor the thresholds in our lives. The moments where one thing ends and another begins, day to night, activity to rest, outside to inside. And maybe tonight, that's the only shift that matters, remembering that every home has a breath, a rhythm, and a spirit. And that spirit listens closely to how we treat it after dark. So as you move into your evening, pause. Look around your space. Feel what it's asking from you, not as a checklist, but as an invitation. Not what needs to be done, but what deserves to be quieted. Because peace isn't something you achieve. It's something you protect, choice by choice, evening by evening, breath by breath.